All right, so let's go ahead and get some practice in using the Shape Builder tool. So what we're going to do is basically create this badge right here, and we're just going to use just basic shapes and the Shape Builder tool. There's kind of like a list or hints. There's kind of a list of keywords that are like hints on how to complete this, just in case you get lost, but try to follow along if you can as well. So the first thing we're going to do is just make a guideline down the center, knowing that a lot of what we're creating is kind of symmetrically based on this center line. So I'll make that guideline first. Then to create the outside of this badge, I'm just going to use kind of a series of ellipses. So I'm going to drag one ellipse shape first and just roughly kind of match the outside edge of our badge shape. And that looks about right. I'll go ahead and turn off the fill, and I'll bring that stroke down. And make sure you can zoom out because we will be creating shapes that go off the artboard. So I'll go ahead and select that shape. I'll hover in the center, hold down on the Alt key, and hold down the Shift key, and I'm looking to line that up. I'm looking for like a three-way intersection between the two shapes and that guideline at the bottom. Alright, so that's the first part. Let's try this top part up here. So I'm going to make another ellipse shape again. And this time I'm going to match the top of the badge shape. Zoom in a little bit more. And I will copy that, holding down on Alt and Shift. And once again, I'm looking for a three-way intersection. And that looks about right. Okay, so let's use the black arrow and select all these shapes. I'll hit Shift M for the Shape Builder tool. And I don't need any of these shapes on the outside, so I'll just hold down on the Alt key and just start dragging a contiguous line all the way across. Release the mouse first. You can see it deleted all those unnecessary parts. I'll delete that shape there. And I'll go ahead and click inside this center, okay, not using the Alt key. And now that is all one shape. And then I'll use my black arrow, kind of increase the size so we can see that a little bit better. Okay, so now that we have the outside or profile, I want to have kind of this inner stroke on the inside, so I'm just going to offset the path. So Object, Path, Offset Path, and let's go ahead and preview what it has so far. So I'm going to do a minus 0.1389. Click OK. And it looks like it's divided right here. So I'll choose my rectangle tool and I'll create a small rectangle that cuts through that center. Right about there. I'll hit V for my black arrow and select all those shapes again. I'll hit Shift M for the shape builder, and I'll go ahead and edit those shapes. So I subtracted the ones on the outside, and I will add the ones on the inside so that we have that shape. Okay, so the last thing is dividing up this portion of the stripes. I'm going to go ahead and use our grid tool. I'll go to rectangular grid. I'll start right here, and I'll click and drag, and I'll line that up. And this time I will decrease all the rows, and I will increase the amount of columns. So let's try something like that, even if it's not lined up perfectly with the template. And then I will release. Okay, so instead of selecting all of the shapes, I'm just going to select the 2 shapes that I need to work with. So in this case, that grid we just made, and then this inner part of the badge. So once again, I'm going to select the shapes I need to modify, so the grid shape and the badge. I'll hit Shift M. I'll hold down on the Alt key and delete all of those shapes. I will add this set of new shapes here on the bottom, this border. Okay, and then I will make sure that these are all their own shapes. Alright, so now comes the tricky part in coloring this. So you gotta make sure to select and look at what is being highlighted. So right now this is kind of the outer edge of the badge. I'll just put like a really light gray on there so I can kind of see it at first. Then I need to hover on the inside over here, at this top section, and I'll click once, and I can see I really haven't created a shape right here, and that's something I need to do. So I'm going to hold down Shift and M and create that new shape, and I can actually color it with the shape builder, so I'll just choose the color I want to use and then use my shape builder and color that in. I'll go ahead and do that with these other parts. So I'll choose the red that I wanted to use. And I gotta make sure, I'm gonna hold down on Command key and make sure that all of those paths are selected. And I will fill in this color, this color, this color, and this color. And then I will choose a light blue. And I will color in these parts. I'll hit the black arrow and click outside. And one more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the inside of these stripes, and I'm going to go ahead and take off the stroke color. So I'll just cross out the stroke. You can see it's kind of a group of shapes. And then I'm going to arrange those to the back. So I'll right click, arrange, and send to back. And I'll go ahead and turn off my guideline. And now here we see we've created that nice badge shape just using the shape builder tool and our basic shapes.